What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Road to Glory. And I've got quite a lot of things to talk about. I haven't posted a video in nearly a week, so a lot of things to sort of discuss and all that good stuff. But kicking it off here, just going to get a couple of contracts from my players that are low. But yeah, guys, so I sort of said in last week's video that I was having a job trial in Scotland, and it went really well. So I've got like a kind of a new job up there, but it's not going to affect my videos as such. But I've just had a busy weekend as well, so that's why there wasn't any videos. I was down at the Brighton game. Newcastle game in Brighton, sorry, on Saturday, so that was pretty much a full day there, and I was recovering on Sunday, and on Monday, what was I doing on Monday? I was just being lazy basically, and I didn't get one up, and my dad's actually got a bad back, so I've been covering for him a bit, because I don't actually start my new job till next Monday, so, you know what I mean, it's not like straight away, but so I should be getting the videos up again, and we're sort of going to work out a schedule for the videos, because the new job's sort of like Monday to Friday, quite solid hours, so obviously I'll be free at the weekends, so if I get I can get all my footage done at weekends, and then I can just do the commentaries during the week, and it'll work out, but I'll work that out in time, so I'll just quickly apologise for sort of slacking on the videos, and I'm going to get back to the office, as they say, and, start sort of uploading regularly, because, it's kind of taking the piss not uploading and stuff, so yeah, I'll sort of get that out of the way, and kick it off here. I think he's got an Arsenal team, I could be wrong, and this game here was actually quite frustrating. It was my first game on in about 5 or 6 days, and I could just tell it wasn't going to go my way, and it didn't go my way, and you'll see a mistake in a second from my keeper. And it is the worst mistake I've ever seen by a goalkeeper in my life. Is worse than that Kirkland one. This is it here. It's just absolute disgrace. Louise headers it back, and all he's got to do is catch it. And what the fuck is he doing? I do not know, and that cost me the game. It gave me my first loss, and I actually conceded another goal because I was trying to get an equaliser. Had everyone all on ultra attack. If Henry scores again, but you'll see this keeper getting discarded at the end of the game because I just was not happy with his performance. And I'm going to get myself a new keeper. I'm going to get a Fabio, but less about that. And I'll quickly sort of talk about the match. It's actually transfer deadline day today, and it is sort of 6:30 at the moment. There's been a few transfers. QPR being quite busy. Looks like the Maripa guy. So when this is up, you probably already know all the transfers and stuff. But currently, he's just turned down Wigan. It looks like we could be signing him if we're willing to pay the money. Hopefully we are, because he's actually a really good player. I really like a player like that to come in Newcastle. And talking about the game on Saturday, I was down there. Brighton is actually the gay capital of the England apparently, and me and my mates didn't know that. And we're looking for a bar to watch the Liverpool Man United game because that was a early kickoff, and we actually walked into a gay bar, which was quite funny. But then we quickly realised and we quickly left very swiftly. But yeah, it's like apparently Brighton is meant to be the biggest gay area in the world or something. So it was quite funny, but yeah, it's quite embarrassing. But it's quite a nice place, Brighton. Like if you've never been, best place to describe it as, it's basically like Blackpool but posher and bit better weather, and yeah, bit sort of like a better version of Blackpool without as many rides. But yeah, it was really good. I went down the pier, I went on the Dodgems, I got some Brighton Rock. I was going to go on a water slide, but then I thought it was a bad idea as the game's sort of evening kick off and it's probably going to be cold. But yeah, it was a really good day out and I really enjoyed it. And I'll talk about the match in a second, which is, I shouldn't even be wasting my bloody breath on them. Because Amiobi is the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen in a Newcastle shirt. We played the 4-2-3-1 and it just did not work. We'll have to play 4-4-2. I think he has to bring back Ryan Taylor, and he has to bring back Overton, because ever since we've sort of dropped Overton and dropped Ryan Taylor, we've just lost every game basically, apart from the QPR game and the Blackburn game in the Cup. But we should be beating teams like that at home anyway, regardless of who we got in the squad. But yeah, we played the 4-2-3-1. The Leon Best was left attacking mid, which was just like, you might as well have played me there. The bloke is just not fit, not for that position. And we played Shola up front, who's just the biggest heap of shit I've ever seen in my life. He's so bad, it is unreal. And then he's actually worse than Andy Carroll, and that is just saying that's how bad he is. And we played, obviously, that Nugget Simpson at right back, who's the shittest defender in the world. And that Santon was at left back, who has not got a left foot whatsoever. And it was just ridiculous playing on left back when he's not left footed. When young Shane Ferguson came on, we looked the far better side for the last 5 or 10, and he was crossing balls in his left foot, but we didn't have all game because we had no left footers on the left hand side. And I like a left footer, well, especially at left back, you need a left footer. On the left wing, you don't necessarily need a left footer, but at left back, you have to have a left footer for me. And unless they're exceptional talent like a Philip Lahm of Bayern Munich, someone who's got real genuine ability can play there, but you've got to have a good left foot if you're not left footed. And Santon's not got a left foot. He's very much a right back for me. And talking about right backs, that Danny Simpson, what was he doing? I do not know. And the little goon was on Twitter having a go at Newcastle fans, which is just disgraceful. To be perfectly honest, he's just not good enough. He's shit. You know what I mean? And I was really annoyed with him. This is my team there. I'm just changing it around. But yeah, I think I'd buy a right back. I forgot to talk about that, but you can kind of see that anyway. But yeah, it was a good trip, and the game kicked off. Obviously there was quite a lot of anti-gay chants, which was quite funny because Brighton was like the gay cabal, and first half was pretty shit, to be honest. Well, the game was a pretty shit game, and I thought it was going to be 0-0, until Danny Simpson, I think what Danny Simpson was thinking was, he was on a yellow card, and he just got booked for it, and the kid was he was, looking like a better player than he was, in 50-50 ball, all Simpson has to do is win it, he bottles it, and the kid runs down, and obviously the rest is history. Big Williams, absolute donkey, gets his foot on it, but there we go, and yeah, so it was quite frustrating, but to be honest, we should have had a penalty because Kabay had a shot, I believe, and it hit someone's arm. I haven't actually seen the game back because I just could not be asked to watch it. But there's a corner goal from Ganzo, which is just ridiculous. I think this game as well, I get a goal from Roger, which is absolute gem, which is montage worthy. But yeah, but we did not deserve the win. Didn't even deserve. I think we would have deserved the draw possibly. But I think Kabay's been given a 3-game ban now. But I believe they've appealed it. But I don't actually see the point of appealing it unless you're a London club or Manchester United. You're gonna get the ban. You know what I mean? Like Van Persie elbowed the Villa kid in the face. He gets nothing. Kabay leaves his foot in and gets a 3 or 4-game ban, which is just. He probably does deserve the ban, but it's just inconsistency by the FA. And the FA are the biggest arseholes in football for me. They just I cannot stand them. They're anti Newcastle United, a bit like Sky Sports. BBC, all of them. The anti Newcastle United. They're just against us. And a bit like Talksport. Not none of these news, whatever the fuck they're called. Oh, there's the goal. There's the Roger goal. That is just when I scored that, I was like, yeah. The guy actually rage quit as a just after he pauses it just off the kickoff, and then this is when I scored this I was like, wow, it's not even the inform Roger as well, it's just absolute just pick that one out on his left foot. And what was I talking about the game, and I think this video is pretty long, but I kind of you kind of deserve a longer video because it hasn't been one in a week. If you look at the length of the video, it's actually quite funny. But what was I talking about the game? I've lost my grain of thought there, but we didn't really deserve anything. Simpson really cost us the game, and I hope against Blackburn, which I'm going tomorrow on Wednesday night, I hope. Apparently Demba Ba and Cisse are not going to be playing because they're not going to get back in time, which is slightly disappointing. But for me, Pardew has to play back. Go back to what he started with at the start of the season, 4-4-2. Play. That's what I would play personally if I was picking the team. I'd play obviously Krul in goal. Put Ryan Taylor right back, put centre half. If Colaccini's fit, play Colaccini. Even though Perch actually had a really good game because Mikhail Smith Brighton was, he's not really a tall, intimidating striker. He's one of these busy strikers that runs around like the opposite of Shola. Shola is just an absolute plank and does not move. He's glued to a spot. And obviously Mikhail Smith, he's a really good player, and he doesn't stop moving. He's a bit like a Tevez type sort of player, always busy, doesn't stop, and he's played well for them. But yeah, I would play obviously Williams with Colaccini if Colaccini's fit. I hope he's fit. If not, Perch will play. But I think you have to play Williams either way because of his height. He's not the greatest, but we need a bit of height in there. But if we sign that defender from Watford, I would definitely start him. You know what I mean? Because he looks like a really good player. Left back, I would play Shane Ferguson because he's the kid is talented. He's not the biggest. He might get eaten alive at Blackburn, but I don't think Samba will be playing because he's in a bit of a sort of discussion with Blackburn about his future and stuff. So hopefully he won't play. So if he plays or big Yakubu plays, I think Ferguson might get eaten alive. But hopefully, I personally play Ferguson. I think the kid's got the heart of a lion. you know, compared to like Danny Simpson, you know, young Ferguson is just, you know, he's a heart of a lion. And I play full midfield, you know, I play Obertan on the right wing because you know, people are actually ripping into Obertan at the start of the season, but you know, for me, especially away from home, his pace is just it's undefendable. I think if he had played against Brighton, we would have won. Because if you watched, I don't know if anyone watched the Borough Sunderland game, where first half Sunderland was shite, Borough were good. And, you know, Sunderland had no pace up front. They had like what's he called, Wickham is very slow. Reminds me a bit of Andy Carroll. In the second half, they brought on Campbell, a bit more pace. And you know, that was the difference. I'm just going to take a little drink here, and my throat's a bit dry. And I think this game is another rage quitter as well, which is quite frustrating. But yeah, Overton on the right, shit, just for his pace. You know, early in the season when we played Stoke, you know, you had a really good game, and his pace, you cannot defend pace. You know, if you got pace, and if you know you can cross a ball, you know, you cannot defend it like that. McLean for Sunderland. You know, he's a fantastic left midfielder. You know, not particularly flash, but he gets down the left hand side, whips it in with his left foot. You know, he's a strongish enough lad, and he looks a good player. And then midfield, I would play Danny Guthrie. And I would play. I think if Kabai's not suspended, i.e. they appeal it, obviously you play Kabai, Guthrie. If not, I would play young Harasovic or Mediabid with Danny Guthrie in that middle. I'd be tempted to play Mediabid as a more defensive option, you know, away from home, etc. But, you know, Harasovic is a good player, and you could play him sort of in and behind the strikers, or you could play him up front. And then on the left-hand side, I would play Jonas Gutierrez, you know, because especially away from home, you know, he's a cracking defensive option, you know, and he'll help young Shane Ferguson. And up front, personally, I would play Peter Lovenkrands, because I think that the bloke is the only bloke you'd happily sit down with and have a beer. You know what I mean? He's a really canny bloke, and you know he's not a cunt like most of them. And I would definitely play Peter Lovenkrands, and I would play Leon Best alongside Lovenkrands, because you know they're not actually a bad partnership. When I watched them against Birmingham last year away from home and we beat them, they both had good games. I think they both scored. I think I remember that right. And yeah, I would play them two up front. I would drop BenArfa for me, because he's especially away from home. I think he's a luxury player, and you can't afford passengers at times. You know, at times he can just, you know, change a game in one instant, but at other times, you know, like against Brighton, the times he went missing, and you can't really afford that. You know what I mean? That's why I wouldn't play him, especially away from home. And obviously I played Bestie up front with Lovenkrands. You know, Lovenkrands as well, like, I don't know if you've seen the Liverpool game against Man United, but when Kite come on for Liverpool, changed the game. You know, he's got pace, and you know he stretches defences, and he creates gaps. And Lovenkrands, obviously he's not as good as Kite, but he's sort of in a similar mold. You know what I mean? He'll run around, he'll create gaps. You know, create gaps so people like Best to get in there, because Best isn't the most mobile striker, and he needs someone with a bit of pace sort of with him, because if he's got Shola there, obviously, you know, it's not going to be a good combination. That's what I would play. You know, I would quite happily take a draw, you know, against Blackburn. You know, Blackburn aren't world beaters, but at the end of the day, we're away from home, and we've got no Demba Ba or Tiote. We desperately miss Tiote as well, because I think when you've got Guthrie and Kabai, the problem is they're both like ball players. They like to sort of get on the ball a bit like Xavi or Iniesta, you know, so they like to pass the ball. And when you haven't got like a Tiote there, they cannot win the ball, and they're too busy defending, and they're not that type of mindset, and they prefer to get on the ball and, you know, pass it. But anyway, guys, this video is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I'll try and get this up by 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. Try my best. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, leave a like, favourite, subscribe, leave a comment. You know, any comments about anything, you know, send me a message, whatever. Follow me on Twitter. I'll have that link in the description. Yeah, guys, have a good night. Peace.